Today, I woke up to a very special direct message from the CEO of Hytale, Simon. And to my surprise, he actually shared me a quick teaser of what the lore of the Cursebreaker edition of Hytale is going to be. So today, I'm going to explain to you what he sent me in my DMs, and I'm also going to theorize on top of that and what I believe the lore of the Cursebreaker arc of Hytale is going to be. My name is Chris, welcome back to the CanadianFlash channel, and enjoy the video. If you guys are new here and you enjoy Hytale content like me, I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before Hytale releases, so please, if you can smash that subscribe button and hit that like button as well, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, I have a Discord, links in the description down below to talk with fellow Hytale fans. With that being said, enjoy the video. So this morning I woke up getting ready for work, you know, like typical normal things. You know, I do my normal stuff, checking Twitter, eating breakfast and all that, and I was actually kind of ready to prepare a script for the Zone 2 breakdown video that I had. And then I checked Twitter, and I actually saw that I got a DM. It happens from time to time. I get a DM maybe once a week, twice a week, it depends. But this time, this one was a little bit interesting, and it was from the CEO of Hytale, the man who brought Hytale back from the dead, Simon Hypixel. And he just out of the blue said, "I will give you one big piece of the Cursebreaker lore." He sent me a quick little text image, and he also sent me a small picture as well. So the first thing he sent was, honestly, this is probably one of the biggest bits of Hytale news that we have actually gotten in a long time. And the first thing he said is, "We do not start our journey in Orbis." So that is absolutely massive for the Cursebreaker arc, because everyone's saying we're going to spawn in Zone 1 and then branch off from there, reach Zone 2, Zone 3, and Zone 4 and all that. But what Simon is saying right now with the Cursebreaker arc in Hytale is that we're not starting our journey in Orbis. And this gets my mind spinning like crazy right now. There are 5 different planets in Hytale. There's Orbis, which apparently we're not starting in. There's Numdrazzle, there's Torballen, there's Karpak, and then there's the Nexus. In my opinion, I don't think we're spawning in absolutely any of these. I think those are going to be future DLCs, or some portals are going to take us to those actually later on. But I want to talk about more where I think we're actually going to spawn in Hytale, and this could have been technically teased back when the trailer came out. And in the trailer, there is a small scene. In this small scene, it says Epic Adventures on the bottom. There also pulls up a map GUI of the Temple of Gaia, and it says the Garden of Elements, and it also says Basic Adventures. And on the bottom there is a little item that says Defeat the Corrupted Golem, and you can see in the middle as well, there is a Defeat the Corrupted Golem tab as well, and the actual, I guess the quest, I would have to say, is Help the Quebecs to defeat the Corrupted Golem, which is a little interesting, I would have to say. I don't know if this has any relevance at all to it as well, but either way, it's still pretty cool. You can see there was also story dungeons. There are world-based dungeons in here as well. There's player, and then there's also friends. You can also see there's waypoints. There's point of interest that you could also take a look at in Hytale as well. And what I'm leading to this is, I think we start the world of Hytale in the Temple of Gaia. And I have a theory behind this. That's the reason why I brought this up. And this theory is, we all know in the actual Temple of Gaia concept art, that Gaia is kind of dead, or she's sleeping, or drained of all her power and all that. In my theory brain, I am thinking that the reason we spawn in the Temple of Gaia, and this also kind of ties in the whole Avatar arc as Hytale as well, is that Gaia kind of summoned us from, I guess, the real world or another world of Hytale. I guess you could think of it kind of like an isekai anime, if you want to say it that way. So Gaia spawns us into the world of Hytale right now, okay? We probably get like a basic set of iron tools or whatever. I could be completely far off on this. Gaia spawns us in to the Garden of Elements, the Temple of Gaia, to actually defeat this corrupted golem, because I guess she's completely out of her power, and help the Quebecs complete this corrupted golem. This is initially where we're going to make our reputation with the Quebecs, and then that'll help us get back into Zone 1 in Hytale. I assume there's some sort of Quebec Gaia portal tree magic. Don't really know. I think it's quite interesting, and I think this is exactly why, and exactly exactly where we are going to start the world of Hytale on, in the Temple of Gaia, which I think is super sick. I mean, clearly the Temple of Gaia is built out already, so they have it in the files. You can see it in the trailer. It's completely built, so why not use it, if you know what I mean. And then I also want to talk about the second part that Simon mentioned to me in this video, and he actually sent a picture, which is pretty cool. And in this picture, it's kind of like a screenshot that he took, or I guess a snipping tool of it, and it says, "Exploration Echoes of Orbis, explore a version of Orbis in its half-remembered state and fragments of what the future might hold." And what could that possibly mean? Because honestly, I would have no idea. The first thing I'm taking a look at is the little background image, and it's very hard to see. It's not the biggest image. I tried to upscale it in the best possible quality that I could, and to me it looks like a kind of like twilighty looking forest with, I believe that's going to be a portal in the back. I don't have any confirmation on that. That's just kind of my theory brain going on. It's a portal that leads to somewhere. Some theories that I have just looking at it, the color scheme gives me car pack vibes, but I don't know why he would just have a background image of car pack. I would assume this has to do something with Orbis, I would have to say. Maybe it's a portal that leads you to car pack, which could be quite interesting. But yeah, the Echoes of Orbis. I don't know at all what the Echoes of Orbis could mean. I would assume Orbis is dead, like I said before. That's why we're spawned into this world, to maybe revive Orbis. Maybe that's why we have all these old Orbis officer logos and tapestry, and you can see in a bunch of prefabs. Clearly, Orbis used to be a thriving place back in the day, apparently. Back in the day. And now it's completely run down. I'd assume Varen and the Void are completely taking over, and our job as Hytale players is, one, obviously to save Gaia, obviously, and then to actually defeat Varen and rid the world, or maybe even the whole Alterverse of Hytale from the Void of Varen, which could be quite interesting. So where it says, explore a version of Orbis in its half-remembered state. Now, what could that possibly mean? We really don't know. Because what is a half-remembered state? What could that possibly be? I mean, I guess to me it means like, yes, Orbis is still there. It's still around. There's wildlife in Orbis. But there's also, it's not the Orbis that Orbis used to be. And we get hints to what Orbis could have been. Like I said before, from the prefabs that have old Orbis officer logos on it, we have concept arts of like Tessa and Kairos. They were also Orbis officers as well. There used to be, I mean, there's lore between the Farons and the Scarix. There's lore between the Quebecs and the Chorix. There's lore between, I would assume, the Slothians. What's also the lore behind the Scorched Ruins? Can I also talk about what happened to the Fauns as well? Mine, I know you're listening to this. What happened to the Fauns? Did the Outlanders make the Fauns go extinct? We have no idea at all. Like, why are the Outlanders worshipping this sort of void corrupting magic as well? When Varen probably arrived, I'm sure he probably took over a faction, in my opinion. That's probably going to be the Outlanders, or maybe, for example, the Outlanders at one point were not a super cool faction, and actually the Fauns had more power than them. Maybe they turned to Varen magic and actually used that Varen magic to, like, I don't know, make the Outlanders, or to make the Fauns go extinct. That could be a cool storyline as well. Maybe Orbis back in its glory days had the Sand Empress ruling all of Zone 2. We don't know. And then it also mentions fragments of what the future might hold. And are we the fragment of the future? Or maybe there's still fragments of life in Orbis that we gotta bring out of the world to bring Orbis back to its original state. And I do wonder if Hytale is going to have specific lore, or maybe specific, like, I don't know, individual lores for each Alterverse. I think that could be pretty cool. We did know that there is a portal that Simon did actually use at the end of that 16-minute gameplay clip. To me, that portal looks very car-packy, I would have to say. And it kind of looks, I know this is like a concept art image, but it kind of looks somewhat similar to what we have in the back of this Exploration Echoes of Orbis page as well. And on top of that, just to wrap this all up, as the Cursebreaker edition, maybe potentially Varen put a curse on the world. Maybe Varen put a curse on Gaia. Maybe Varen put that cursed sword in that corrupted golem in the Temple of Gaia. We have no idea. But if you have any thoughts and ideas of what potentially could be the Cursebreaker, or what the lore of the Cursebreaker edition in Hytale could be, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'll make sure to read every single comment in this video. I'm sure Simon's probably going to watch this video, considering he sent me this. So hey Simon, how's it going? And if honestly, I'll try to make a part 2 to this. Maybe you'll send me more info. That could be pretty cool. I'll try to do my best to theorize as much as I can, and I'll try to, like I said, I'm going to read all your comments, and I'll make actually like a part 2 video based off your comments as well, if I think if they're right. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think is going to be the Cursebreaker edition lore of Hytale. With that being said, thank you so much, Simon, for sending me this video. Greatly appreciated. And thanks for thinking about me. And with that being said, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.